Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today is my February everyday makeup, and if you missed it, I am doing a monthly everyday makeup series, so I will link January's down below. Just like the title, this is my everyday makeup, but I find monthly my everyday makeup bag kind of rotates products, so the looks might change seasonally but kind of look the same, but the products do change. This is my warm tone bronzy winterized everyday makeup for February, so if you want to see how I did it, then just keep on watching. I'm not gonna lie, I have a little bit of brow gel on, some Real Depth multi-purpose stick, I think lip liner and lip balm, and a little bit of concealer under my eyes, so we're gonna work with that. I don't have time to wash my face, do my skincare, and start again because I have to finish packing for Florida, which we leave tomorrow morning, and we're just gonna add. Starting off with the e.l.f. Halo Glow. This is in the shade 3, light medium. I have fallen back in love with it. I loved it so much in 2023. And I just think it's such a great product, especially if you don't wanna have heavy coverage on your face, but you want a little glow. If you buy the Flawless Filter from Charlotte Tilbury, save a couple pounds and start buying this because it's the same thing. I actually have both of the products, the Charlotte Tilbury one and this one, and I never reach for the Charlotte Tilbury one. I just think this one, I don't know what the finish is. I remember when everyone did like the comparison video of both of them together and they're like, there's no difference, but I think it depends. Like for some people it's brand loyalty. Like I think Charlotte Tilbury just has like a cult following, and I absolutely love the brand, don't get me wrong. But whenever it comes to the product I'm reaching for, it's this one naturally. So I just think I like the performance and how it goes on my skin a little bit better, but it's just gonna vary depending on who's putting it on and how they like to wear their makeup. But for me, it's the e.l.f. Halo Glow. e.l.f. Halo Glow. How nice and fresh is that? My skin looks like it just had a surge of moisture, a nice little glow, but not shiny, which for oily skin girls is the perfect combination. I actually was inspired a little bit by Katie Jane Hughes, I believe. She's a makeup artist, and she did like a bronzy everyday winter makeup on her Instagram the other day. So this is a Rogue product because I haven't been using this, but the product I would use is sold out, which is the Pearl Beauty Cream Bronzer in Light. We have it in Fair, but I want more of a warm tone bronzer. So I'm gonna use this I think the brand's Espresso. Espresso? Anyways, it's the Sol Mio Liquid Bronzer in 8 a.m. I don't know why 8 a.m., but it is. I'm gonna put a little bit on the back of my hand here. I'm gonna make it a little bit more easy to pick up. Maybe that is a lot, actually. I'm gonna bounce a little bit on the back of my beauty sponge, and I'm gonna start pushing that onto my cheeks. Yeah, I just want a contoured bronze, like something to really give some more healthiness to my face, a nice winter bronzy glow without looking too summery. So I'm just gonna really push this in more so at the outer corners of my face. If I wanted to make this a little bit more spring summery, I would be keeping it a little bit more on top of my nose, center of my face where the sun would hit. So we're gonna kind of multi-purpose this as a contouring warm tone bronzer. I'm also doing this before concealer in case I over dab with this, because I can tell already I'm already over placing it in areas. So the concealer will help refine it and bring back a little bit more of that structure that I want. Really pressing it into my eyelids as well, because it's gonna act as an eyeshadow. That's a really perfect amount of bronze. I'm gonna move on to concealer, which you already know I love the Kylie concealer in 3N. I'm gonna be very minimal with this because I have just a little bit on already. So mostly the center of my face in areas that just need to be reduced in redness. I'm actually gonna use the same side I used for the bronzing, just because I don't want it to be too much of a stark difference. And I think it will just blend it out a little bit more naturally. Now, since we've launched the Core Essentials palette from Pearl, I've been using it every single day. We have the Core 4 colors here and the 2 highlighters. So I'm gonna take the Duo brush and a little bit of Real Depth, which can kind of be used as a contour shade because it is a really nice neutral. It still has a rose undertone, so it won't look orange or ashy on your face. It's like the perfect blush contour, if that makes sense. So I'm just gonna dab that in areas that I wanna deepen a little bit. And because we're still in February, I mentioned before, I don't want this to look like a summery bronzy look. So this is just gonna kind of bring back that more neutral toned that I want. I'm also just pushing this into my hairline to bring the look together, to bring unity. And I also am realizing that the last time I used this brush was with the shade Put Together, because that's definitely coming through, but I kind of like it. It's a little bit of a vibe anyways, so mix those together if you want this similar kind of shade. And then lately, I've been kind of like circling and blending anything left over on my brush, nothing new in this inner area of my eye slash nose bridge. I think it kind of, I don't know, I'm just into it at the moment. I don't think it's like a forever thing, but I think it just slightly adds some drama and difference to structure. Like, it's not obviously adding a lot of creativity, but I think structurally to your face, if you want to add like a different dimension, it's a cool place to blend out a little bit of a contour shade. Now for a pop of color, I'm going to take the shade Easygoing because I want a little bit more of a peachy finish today. But because we have that like brown rose base, this won't be as peachy. I'm going to keep it more so on the apples of my cheek. And I think this is the perfect flush, summery winter kind of glow that we're going for. Muted it down with that Real Depth and Put Together shade, but still adding warmth back in with Easygoing. For brows, I'm still on this brow pencil. It is so good, the Brow Blade by Brow Aid in Bronde 002. I've used it so much that I feel like I just know the name perfectly off by heart now. And I did mention I had a little bit of brow gel in this morning. It's also from Brow Aid, and I think it's just in Blonde. So I'm just filling in my tail because I'm not wanting a super structured brow. I'm not even gonna do anything in the front area of my brow, just because I feel like that's when it starts to get a little bit more defined and unnatural. So if you want more of a natural looking brow, don't put anything in the front area, just a little bit more at the arch and tail. Now to clean up a little bit, I've been really into using a velvet pad. I feel like pad's not the right word, but you know what I mean. And the Pearl Beauty translucent powder, because it's not adding coverage, because it's obviously white, it still cleans up over blending. So especially under my cheek there, if I've just over blended, because we're just a little bit more in a rush today because of the schedule. And this just tidies it up a lot quicker, looks a lot more snatched, and especially if you have pores, oily skin girls, this erases them. So really dab it in initially. Because this powder is so invisible and finely milled, it does not look like you're wearing any powder. And this just ensures a little bit more of a flawless finish. So I'm gonna do a quick spray of this. It's the Morphe Continuous Setting Spray all over my face and let it dry. Taking a step away from our skin, I'm going to quickly curl my lashes with my Tweezerman lash curler. And I have been loving this mascara as of late. It's the Poco Beauty one. I bought it a couple weeks ago and I have been using it non-stop. If you want volume and non-transfer, this is brilliant. Length, I would recommend obviously curling your lashes because naturally I don't think it gives the most astonishing length, but volume, separation, and no transfer, you'll get it from this. I will say I love this mascara, but one of the downsides is how large the brush is to the side, because I'm already not like the most precise mascara applier in the world, but this one I can't like avoid getting it all over my eyes. But we know the trick is to let that dry, and then I'll take the end of that brow pencil with the spoolie and just scrape it off, because if I touch it now, it's just gonna be raccoon eyes. Moving on, this hair keeps just living its own life. Moving on to lips, I'm taking the shade Whisper from Pearl Beauty, which is a really pretty neutral nude brown shade, and I'm gonna fully outline my lips, overline my top Cupid's bow a little bit, and then we're gonna move on to a little pop color. Liner is on, let's scrape off this mascara. Scraping sounds a little aggressive, but tapping away at that and it just pulls off the dried mascara without smudging anything else. I'm gonna take Happy Go Lucky, which is our bright pastel coral shade, and I'm just gonna put a little bit on my brush initially and tap it on top of all those powders. We formulated them to be quite blurring and pigmented, but still so natural on the skin considering they are powder. But I love adding one of the multi-purpose sticks on top just to bring back that ultra glowy finish, more skin-like luminosity. So I always take one of the colors and dabbing it in. That warm tone is just the perfect blend. I'm obsessed with this combo. Don't forget the eyes with these bad boys. And I'm also gonna put this on my lips, focusing it more on the center. And just tap it out with my fingers so it looks a little bit more natural. And whatever is left on my finger, I always like to apply it to my lids. Finally, just for a little bit of sheen, I'm gonna take the shade Glazed, which is our more warm gold copper shade. And I'm just gonna press that in the inner corner of my eye. So it's a subtle little reflection and glow. Again, I formulated these so that they look really skin-like in a glow. I don't like powdery highlighters because I had a lot of acne in my 20s and I just found like a lot of powder highlighters accentuated skin texture and just didn't really do anything unless you had perfect skin, which wasn't my case. So I wanted this to look as natural and lit from within as possible, but still blurring. So I'm going to tap that in and I feel like it's like the perfect subtle little glow. I'm also going to put a little bit on the tip of my nose and the bridge of my nose. I'm also going to tap a little bit onto my lips and a little bit onto my cheeks. I love using my finger with these highlighters. I just think they look a lot more natural. That's it for my February everyday makeup, you guys. I hope you enjoyed. I definitely love the little warm tones, even though it's February. Everything will be linked down below as usual, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.